I am here with my friend Kayla, and she is going to show us around some of the projects that she has going on, which is pretty amazing.
This is a 31 Chevy Coupe, and I'm working on it for a customer where it came on a 34 Ford frame, complete running gear and everything. And we switched it over to original Chevy frame, channeled it. We're going to finish that up, get it running for him. He's going to bring it back in the fall. We're going to chop it. It's his dream car. So trying to do it some justice. Yeah, yep. That actually Pete Flavin had a 3-window, and that's kind of what he's emulating. He's always loved that car. It's going to have a small block. This isn't, well, that's not the small block that's going to be in it. That's just a mock-up motor.
Yeah.
But a 4-speed, 57 Pontiac rear end. It's got a dual quad setup. We're going to run lake headers.
This will be a small block Chevy.
Yep.
The transformation. Is this the one you had on the Instagram account that you had channeled? Okay.
It is. And when you go back and look at the pictures, it's amazing what just that little, changing the frame and channeling it just a little bit completely changes it.
So what other projects do you have going on in here?
This is our Chevy. And my husband, he was named after the GMC inline. So we put a Jimmy in it. We're going to take it, our game is to take it to Oklahoma to the pre-war pileup. And that should be its first debut. Chopped, channeled, all that good stuff. Too much carburation and
but it looks great.
It does. It's going to be fun to work the kinks out of.
So how long have you had this?
3 years, probably. Yeah.
And then what do you expect it to look like when you debut it?
Not too much different than this.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we're going to paint it, to be honest. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm excited to drive it. It'll be my first Jimmy I've ever driven, so.
That's a Flathead, Cadillac powered.
Yep. Flatheads and Cadillacs. And Flathead Cadillacs.
Yeah.
That's what's in this 5-window back here.
So what's the story on this one?
It's a poor man's 5-window. It's been pieced back together, doing a different kind of chop on it. It's got a full race Cadillac flathead in it with a 5-speed. First one of those we've ever ran, but we want it to be drivable. Be able to take it on the highway.
Yeah.
Modern highway trips.
Yep.
So what's it like finding parts for this engine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, few and far between, for sure.
There's a few manufacturers, Cyclone, Edmunds, that made speed equipment for them, but it was, like I say, far and few between. There was plenty full of them. I mean, they were made for a lot of years. They were Cadillacs, so in LaSalle. So
Yeah.
Whereas the Fords were common man's car. The Cadillac LaSalle was a more expensive car, better treated. And then also the motors got gobbled up for Cadillacs or for hearses and limousines, service industry things. So they didn't get into hot rodders' hands as readily as the Flathead Fords did.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you see Flathead Fords. I mean, if somebody wants to go with an old Flathead, that's just the go-to.
Yeah.
I guess it was a small block Chevy of the day.
It was. I mean, debuted in 32 and ran until 53. So they made them for years, and then everybody and their brother made speed equipment for them. Back in the day, they were the throwaway car, so they were very prevalent. Yeah, game plan with this one is just kind of a door slammer, rough and ready hot rod.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I really like the chop on that. The way the window kind of narrows up as it goes towards the front.
Yep. Yeah, kind of a wedge chop. So I wanted to do a slanted B pillar. The 3 windows are gorgeous because of the radius on the rear curve of the B pillar. 5 windows with that straight up and down, and then you've got all those sexy curves. And that was kind of the idea, was to keep that curve going to where there was no squared edges on the whole car. So,
Yeah.
So,
It has beautiful lines.
but a long ways to get there still. But it's upstairs anyways. And starting to lay down on the paper. So.
How about this black car?
It is a 31 Roadster. It is a guy out of Iowa's. The plan with it was he was building it. We did the axles for him, and we did a transmission for him, and he bought all the parts from us to build it, and got to sticking it together and realized that he was a little in over his head. So he decided to send it back down for us to go ahead and do the fitment and get it closer and get it ready for him. So he's gonna fine tune it and finish it. But basically, we were doing all the rough end work for him. So, but it's got a full dressed flathead 49 to 53 motor, Merc crank, 39 Ford transmission, 34 Ford front axle, 40 rear end. But just real simple highway hot rod.
Mm-hmm. How about this Ford here?
Kind of the same deal. It's a good friend of mine's, Model A Coupe. He's had the car for a long, long time. It was originally a 4-cylinder banger powered hot rod. He wanted to take it to that next step. So now it's a 40 rear, dropped axle, 49 to 53 flathead. So 40 Ford wheels, got a good stance. Mild hot rod, but modernization of the driveline to the 50s anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I say, going to keep it real simple and stock-ish appearing.
So I'm curious, kind of, how'd you get here? What's your origin story for the two of you?
We are. I'm third generation hot rodder. My grandfather built hot rods after World War II on both sides of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad, he's a hot rodder as well. And then, like I say, inherited it down to me as well. So, and then met Kayla. She's a car girl. And we started a family and of a whole car family now. So taking it into another generation. My dad was a Chevy guy growing up, and my grandfathers were Ford guys. But dad drove Chevys and sold Fords. So I get attached to them, and they'd come and go. So that was always heartbreaking to me. So that's what really started my nature of love for the early Fords, was the watching them come and go, and growing up with MTV and ZZ Top and loving, and then I got a Model A when I was still in high school, and chopped it 6 inches and built a banger highway hot rod, drove it, and that escalated into more and more and more and more. But as the artist kind of thing goes, it's you can't keep them all. So it's always a feast or famine lifestyle. So build it, enjoy it for a little bit, and then gather parts to start the next one and let that one go down the road. So I don't keep too much. There's a few things that we that are hopefully going to be here for a long time. But
the dirt track
else,
car.
yeah, I've had the dirt track car. I got it with my very first Model A,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had it since I've had it for 20 plus years. It was a local race car, raced in Lawrence and Topeka. It was raced from, I think, 59 to 72.
Wow.
It was a very competitive car, won quite a few races. His wife raced it as well. I promised that it would never sit outside. It does have a fresh motor in it as of about 20 years ago. It's always been such a
It's an
sideline.
inline six.
Yeah, it's a 223 Ford 6-cylinder.
Okay.
It's got a 57 Ford 3-speed, 34 ton and a half truck rear end with 688 gears. That's stair step down to 55 Ford passenger car axles. And it's had a rough, abusive life, but like I say, I promised it'd never set outside. So it's kind of a big trophy, I guess,
Yeah.
is the best way to put it.
Yeah, it looks like it could definitely tell some stories.
Oh yeah. It's that's where people were built of a different material back then. 'Cause, to drive something like that, it took a lot. But, yeah, I've had quite a few, we've had quite a few vintage dirt track cars. They kind of always, I don't know, it's the ingenuity, the farm built. If we don't have it, we'll build it mentality that I have just always been drawn to. So even if I only own them for a little bit, it's fun to kind of dissect them, check out the ingenuity, all the fabrication that went into them. Maybe it's wrong, maybe it's right, but the deal was they got it done to go racing Friday night and Saturday night, and so I've learned a lot from them. And again, I love trying to save them, get them back out there, get them to people that are going to put them back together, or maybe go out and race them again. So many of them went by the wayside. They were crushed or stripped of their good parts to build hot rods back out of, or restore cars or whatnot. And that's honestly all my 33 34s I've ever had were built out of castaway dirt track cars, or ditch fill. The quarters on that car and the quarter windows are off of an old jalopy that somebody else had cut up to build a car out of.
Yeah, this is what I love about this. It's the opposite end of the spectrum as the kit cars, to where you buy everything you need and assemble it. Where here you're making everything you need,
Right.
piecing it together.
Yep.
And honestly, that's what gives it the character and the value. And there's not going to be another car like it out there.
Nope.
Yeah. But we started buying and selling. I mean, as far back as I can remember, we've always been more swap meet junkies than ever car shows.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's the dreamer mentality that I was raised on. It's always easier to see what something can be rather than what it actually is. We pick quite a bit. We're always hunting farmsteads, auctions, word of mouth. Chase every lead, and follow every treasure trove.
Yeah. Well, this is you kind of have your own treasure trove going right here.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. If there's not a Walmart or Kmart that has all these parts. I mean, again, like you said.
Well, I mean, where do you go buy a bomb like that?
Yeah.
You just can't pick a bomb up around Walmart.
Yeah. World War II practice bomb. So I mean, we got to have our kind of a personal inventory. Like always, we've got more than we need, but it's also kind of money in the bank. A lot of the stuff we sell to finance what we need to finish the next car, or to buy the next car. Like I say, if it's automobile related, we love it. Vintage toys, collect race cars, models. I've got a whole little room of all of that fun stuff as well. So I don't know if you want to check it out or not, but I've got toys, and I've been an Ed Roth fan since I can remember.
Well, are you even a car guy if you don't have a little bit of love for Ed Roth?
Oh yeah, Roth, and just a little bit of everything. Love tether cars. Started collecting Hot Wheels as a kid. That turned into an even worse hobby of the hot rod world, and actually sold some of the Hot Wheels to get started in buying my first Model A. So,
Yeah.
collect Frankenstein stuff too. Again, it's kind of goes back to the piecing together hot rods, piece together man, piece together cars.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's the whole era of the Munsters.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So,
how can you not love the Munsters? So
they were hot rodders too.
yeah. Yep, whole hot rod family as well. Grandpa Herman Eddie had his killer vintage chain Stingray.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to show me around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
this
problem.
is really. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
When I just saw, hey, she posted some photos of cars on Instagram.
Yeah.
But this is fantastic. I appreciate you sharing.